Hi, I'm Ron Evans, and I'm really glad that you stopped by to maybe get some information on how to go from being a tenant to a homeowner. So I don't know if you know this or not, but with the way the market's going right now, you have various reasons that you're probably renting, and I get that, everyone gets that. But right now in California, we have about 8 million renters, and as we sit here today, 1 million of you are actually capable of purchasing a home today. Like right now, you could walk in, find a house, make an offer, and buy that house today. There's another 3 to 4 million of you that, due to whatever reason, with a little bit of planning, could purchase very, very soon. And what do I mean by planning? Maybe you've got to clean up your credit, save up for a little bit of a down payment, or work on some financial issues from the past to clean up. So with that being said, out of the 8 million total renters we have right now in California, half of you can purchase a home, likely in 2019 or 2020. I'd like to talk to you about how to plan to go from being a renter to a homeowner and see where everything takes us. How does that sound? Still with me? Awesome. So the first thing I want to talk about is down payment. Now there's this big myth out there that you need to have like 20% down to be able to purchase a home. And that's just simply not true. Did you know that today there are lots of loan programs out there that will allow you to purchase a home for as little as 3 or even 3.5% down? That means for a $500,000 home, you could purchase for roughly $15,000 to $18,000 as a down payment. Traditionally 20% down, you'd have to have $100,000 to put down. So that's a huge difference, over $80,000 difference. Now, for some people, 20% down is no big deal at any price point. But for most of us, especially people that haven't owned a home before and have been renting, it's really difficult to maybe make your dollar stretch and get into saving enough for a down payment. So not only, I want to talk to you about, not only do you need just a low down payment of 3 or 3.5%, but there are even some programs that have down payment assistance available to where the bank or somebody else will put up a portion or all of your down payment, and over time that goes away and you just get extra equity into your home. Yes, I said it. Now you've got to come up with like the closing costs and different things in that scenario. But there are some programs out there, and my lender can talk to you about that, that will just allow you to almost purchase at 100% down, but it'll show a 3 or 3.5% down payment on the books. So that's the first thing that I want to talk about to just kind of dispel out there, is that you don't need, a full 20% down payment. And again, most people think that you do. The statistics show that I believe it's about 82% of buyers out there still think that you need to have a 20% down payment, and they don't realize that no, there's programs out there for everybody, or just about everybody, to help you be able to purchase a home. So that's the first thing I wanted to talk about. So the second thing I wanted to talk to you about is just owning a home in general, and maybe like the benefits of owning a home. And did you know that right now the cost of rent is outpacing the cost of home ownership by a pretty significant gap, especially here in California, and really especially here in Orange County. So today you may be spending $2,500 a month for a 2 or 3 bedroom condo or home here in Orange County. In the next 5 years, that $2,500 is likely going to be closer to $3,500, $3,600. Whereas you could buy a home of similar value and size and have a payment very close to $2,500 a month today, and 5 years from now, guess what? It's still going to be $2,500 a month. It's not going to change. And all you're doing over time is just building up equity and building up equity. Whereas as you're renting, as you know, all that money that you're spending on rent is just flush going down the toilet. So that was the second thing I really want to talk to you about, is just kind of dispelling the, it's easier to rent or it's better to rent because house prices are too expensive or whatever. Well, guess what? The historical average shows, and you can pick any 10-year point in history, even when we've had recessions and housing market bubble bursts and everything else, you can take every 10-year gap that you take, no matter what 10-year gap you take. If you would have bought at the beginning of that 10 years, at the end of that 10 years, your home was always worth more money than it was at the beginning, regardless of any dips in the economy or housing, etc. But also, if you take that same 10-year gap, you're going to see that if you had started renting at the beginning of those 10 years, your rent has probably increased 5 to 8% at the end of that 10 years. That is significant. And the only person's bank account you are helping in that scenario is your landlord, is your property owner's bank account. You're not helping yourself at all. Again, that's the second thing I really want to talk to you about. Still with me? Great. So here's the third thing I really want to talk to you about, and that's just the overall credit situation, or let's just talk it economic issues or financial issues you may have had in the past. So it used to be, if you had even like a bankruptcy or a short sale or just some bad credit, you may have to wait like 7 to 10 years to try to own a home again. And I should know, I've been there. I've had issues in the past, just like the majority of us have in California and across the United States. But I'm here to tell you that there are programs out there and certain circumstances out there that 2 years, 3 years after, like especially like after a short sale or sometimes even a bankruptcy, guess what? You can put yourself back onto the path of homeownership again. There are lots of bank programs out there that will allow you to purchase again with a low down payment even, in the event that you've had a short sale or credit issues or bankruptcy or whatever fairly recently. So you're no longer really having to wait 7 to 10 years. Now, as your credit goes, as a general rule, yeah, it can take a while for those things to actually drop off your credit, but when it comes to purchasing a home, if you've got the down payment and you've got the job and the income and everything else, and maybe even an explanation for what you had going on in the past, banks will work with you. Lenders will work with you, especially private lenders. They'll work with you because they know that the investment in real estate still trumps the investment in everything else, including the stock market. That was the third thing I really want to talk to you about. Stay tuned for some more. Okay, you're still with me, and I've got one more item I want to talk to you about. This is point number 4 on what I want to talk to you about. And that's just the overall waiting to purchase. A lot of people are thinking, hey, we're due to have another housing boom or bust. The bubble's going to burst again like it did in 2007, 2008. And I want to tell you and reassure you that that's just not going to happen. We may see a recession in the economy, but it's not going to be a housing-related recession. You can look up lots of statistics and lots of articles that back me when I say this. You can look at the Stephen Thomas Housing Report. You can go to reportsonhousing.com and look him up. Or you can ask me for the most current report. I'll be happy to send it to you for free. You can look on the Wall Street Journal. You can go to CAR, which is the California Association of Realtors. Go to their website, read all their economic reports. I stay up to date on a lot of these things. I read a lot of different economists. I attend a lot of different meetings, and I really want to stay ahead of the curve when it comes to real estate and helping out my clients. So please believe me when I tell you that, yeah, we may have a recession in 2020, 2021. A lot of it's going to depend on unfortunately, politics and elections and things of that nature. But trust me when I tell you that there is nobody out there at all forecasting that any recession we may have will be housing related. So you can feel safe. I mentioned a couple points ago that if you take, no matter if there was a recession that's housing related or not, every 10-year period that you can pick in history, if you purchase at the beginning of that 10-year period and look back at the end of the 10-year period, your home's always going to be worth more than it was when you first purchased it, no matter what. So housing will always ride out recessions, especially if you're really in it for the long term. It's still your best investment. Again, I can cite lots of articles, send you as much information as you like about that, but in the end, waiting to purchase is just not a valid excuse anymore. Your rent is always going to continue to increase, and as I've mentioned previously, rents are increasing and outpacing other parts of the country, and definitely outpacing housing prices at this point. So that was the fourth and final thing I really want to talk to you about. Be back in just a second to wrap things up. Thanks again for taking the time to click on the link that you got either in your letter or that you saw online and watch this video or read all the information that I've got on this page. If you'd like any help from me or have any other further questions, you can hit me up direct at ronevansrealty.com. My phone number direct is 949-929-2270, or you can just simply fill out and submit your information below on this page, and I'll contact you at your earliest convenience, and we'll talk and we'll go from there. It doesn't cost anything to get a consultation. It doesn't cost anything to pick my brain. It doesn't cost anything for me to hook you up with a credit person, a lender, or what have you to help you get on that path to ownership. All it takes is a little bit of time and a little bit of effort on your part, and we'll get you going. Again, I thank you for watching this, and we'll talk to you soon.